As a small business owner, have you ever felt overwhelmed by the pressure of choosing the right hire or leading a team? Or have you ever found yourself tolerating a bad hire because you fear trying and failing again as you repeat the hiring process? If so, you're not alone, and you are in the right place. Welcome to the Growing Your Team podcast. The Growing Your Team podcast teaches business owners like you to expand your unique business by teaching you to master the hiring and team management process. Hiring and managing a team does not have to be a challenge. You just have to learn to do it right. And the Growing Your Team podcast teaches you how to become a confident leader who hires right every single time. Now, let's jump into the show where each episode you will learn tips on how to identify what type of help you need on your team, how to source amazing candidates, how to conduct interviews that lead you to your ideal team member, how to onboard successfully, and how to lead every person in your business so you have a team of rock stars who you are happy to pay every single paycheck. So let's jump in and teach you how to hire like a pro. Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about a personal experience and how it applies to the hiring process. So, one of the things you might or might not know about me is I've been a dancer my entire life, and shortly after I graduated college and I was looking at studios to continue taking classes, I stumbled upon aerial dance. So think Cirque du Soleil stuff. Got into it, did it for a few years, very consistently, performed semi-professionally for a while on the weekends, loved it. But then life happened and I had to step back for a while. I was hoping to get back into it, but then kids happened and all this stuff where it took years to find another good studio that fit my availability to take classes. And I was lucky enough, I think we're coming up on to 2 years now, 2 years this fall, that I've been taking classes at a local studio that is fantastic. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to train very consistently there. There's been a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, some injuries and everything, but I absolutely love this studio. And recently, over the last month or so, have started taking a lot more classes, just ready to get back into it as much as I can. And so this last week, I took a class that wasn't up on any of the equipment. It was a class focusing on stretches and different type of strengthening work to really make sure that not only we can do tricks in the air, but also that they look good. So focusing on how to say, all right, you can get through that to wow, that is really eye-pleasing because of beautiful lines and things like that. So I'm taking this class, and one of the things that kept coming up is something that has been coming up a lot in my aerial practice over the last 2 years with this new studio. It's that sometimes the difference between being successful at something and not are these minor tweaks. That there are times we can know the concept, we can know what moves we have to go through, we can understand the progression, but when something is slightly off, it stops us, it prevents us from achieving success, or it makes it such a challenge that it almost feels like it's not worth it. But when these small things get pointed out and you apply these minor changes, it's huge in the big picture. So for the class this week, we were focusing on stretching and just how simple changing of hip position could completely change the stretch or completely change the line that you were in and that your body was making while you were in the stretch. The difference of okay, that's impressive. And wow, that looks fantastic. That is a beautiful move. And it made me think that this is very much hiring. It's part of the core behind growing your team. You can go through the hiring process, do all the right steps, but it still feels challenging and taxing. And a part of that is sometimes minor tweaks, minor things that can change to get you what you need and get you the person on your team that is going to be that, wow, this person's fantastic. I couldn't imagine my business without them team member versus, all right, I guess this person will do. It almost feels like more of a struggle having them, but I can't go back to doing all this work myself. So an example here is sometimes in a job post, the title. Sometimes the title of your job can make a huge difference. So currently, I am helping a client hire for a sales position. We called this position a director of business development at first. We were getting a lot of great candidates, but the client said, I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit higher level than what I want to call the position. And they had their reasons for it. So I said, okay, we can always try a different title. So we adjusted the title, and I think we called it a business development executive. Once we posted it with that title, the candidates that we were getting completely changed. And for this example, not in a good direction. The job post was exactly the same. Everything else in the process was exactly the same. The only thing that changed was the title of that job. What we were looking for in this position was someone who was an experienced salesperson in the B2B network who could step into this role. They really needed to have a lot of great experience because as being a small business, there wasn't a good sales leader currently in the business. So we needed someone who knew what they were doing. And when they looked to their leadership and management, it wasn't about how to sell better, but it was about maybe more about how to have company information that allowed them to sell better. So someone really needed to be confident of their sales technique in order to really succeed in this environment. When we changed the title to business development executive, we were getting people that had basic sales experience and we're looking for that next level. But people that were looking for that next level experience that would succeed in an environment where they had someone coaching and training them on the sales skills and helping them develop their sales skills. So we quickly realized that this change in title actually hurt the process versus enhancing the process. With the title, when we originally went out with Director of Business Development, that title was selected based off of research. And the research and what we were seeing still supported the title of Director of Business Development. So we changed the title again. And guess what? We were once again on track with the candidates that we really wanted to see. And so that one little change made all the difference in the hiring process. With some of my other clients, sometimes that change is redefining what to look for in the must-have criteria when you're selecting candidates for an interview. Helping them see that maybe this one thing is a nice to have versus a must-have, or potentially that there's things that have now come up as must-have. So for example, I was helping to fill a role in a marketing company, and they realized once they started talking to some of those first round candidates that having agency experience was essential when they originally didn't think that it was. So once we made that small tweak, we were able to then narrow down to the right set of candidates for them to interview. Sometimes this small little tweak is adjusting interview questions. And sometimes adjusting that interview question is saying, okay, this question is a good start, but what do I need to ask next as a follow-up to really dive into what I need to know? This question only scratches the surface. Sometimes it's saying, do we actually know what it means to be qualified for this role? What it means for someone to be able to do the job? There are all different things that we can tweak, all different small things that we can adjust that really make a big difference in the hiring process. So if you are feeling like, okay, I understand the steps of hiring, but things are still not working out, that's when you need a little bit of help and support to understand where the small changes need to be made. And sometimes we're way too close to our business to do those changes ourselves, or to really identify those changes ourselves, which is sometimes that benefit of having someone outside the business come in and review your hiring process and figure out what is working, what is not working, and how you can improve it to get a good hire. Because let's face it, if you have to interview 20 candidates and you're not happy with anyone that you interviewed, that's a waste of time, right? But if you can make one small change and you only have to interview 5 candidates to get a candidate that you love, isn't that a better use of your time? So let's figure out in your hiring process what small tweak needs to be made in order for your process to be successful. So if you're ready to review your process and you want someone to help you do this, let's set up a call. Go to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart, jumpstart being all one word, and I can help you review your hiring process to make those small tweaks that are going to make a huge difference. So once again, that's growingyourteam.com/jumpstart. And let's talk about what we can do to make your hiring process a success. Because I want you to get the people on your team that are worth their paycheck. The people that you are happy to talk with when you have to delegate assignments or when you have those team meetings. The people that excite you and lift you up instead of the team that just feels draining. So let's get you the team you need. And once again, in order to get you the help that you need, if you want Growing Your Team to support you during this process, go to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart. We'll have a quick call, see what's going on in your hiring process, and then we can get you started on that path for success. So once again, go to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart.